So this video is going to be for an aFe Power Magnum Force Stage 2 air intake system dry filter for the 2013 Dodge Ram 1500 Tradesman, which is obviously a 5.7 Hemi motor. In addition to this air intake system, I just put on the Borla exhaust, so this should be a nice addition to the Borla, give it a better, deeper sound. And supposedly this air intake system gives you approximately 18 horsepower, and I can't remember the torque it gives you offhand, but when you open it, obviously you're gonna have some packaging and whatnot, but this is basically what it consists of. You have your dry filter. You have a couple options when you order the system online. You can either get an oiled standard filter or a dry filter. I'd rather spend $20-30 more to get the dry filter, so you don't have as much maintenance and it gives you a little bit better performance. The only thing different I did since I unpackaged it is that this ring for the air intake tube does not come on here on the heat shield, but I just basically already put this on inside the house, and then all the tools come with it when you order the system. You have your tubes, whatnot, and then here's before the stock air intake, or what it looks like. First thing that you need to do is remove the 4 clips off of the stock air intake casing heat shield. 4 clips are on the side. Should be 2 on the left and then 1 on the back. Self-explanatory on that. And then you disconnect your air intakes, the air sensor itself on the front, and then you have to loosen the 2 clamps, one on the going to the heat casing, and then one going into the intake itself, the manifold, and then also then you just basically twist this off here, which goes into your engine, the tube. Alright, so once you get past that step, it'll look like this. And then the next thing what you're going to need to do is obviously make sure you're careful with the sensor part. Move that out the way, and then you're going to pull the top of the casing off the manifold. And once you get your cover off your engine, basically what I did was you take out the old stock air intake filter, pull that straight out, and basically this whole box here you pull it straight up. You don't have to worry about any clamps or anything, nothing's holding on. There's just 2 I don't know if you want to refer to it as screws, but you basically just pull straight up, come straight out, and that's done with that. Then you take the old crankcase vent line, okay, which attached to the old stock air intake, pull it off the engine on this side over here, pull straight up. Take that line out because you're going to replace it with tube that comes with aFe Power that they supply you. Alright, once you do that, on the new crankcase line they supplied you, which is obviously longer than the stock crankcase line, you take the old attachments off of the stock line, put it on the new line, so obviously so you can put it back in place. Simply push it back down into the manifold, and then after that you're going to need to take your weather stripping seal that's supplied in the box and put it around your new heat shield, and it's obviously going to sit around it. Alright, so before I said mentioned to take out the stock air intake bottom housing. The reason why I said that was so it makes it a little easier to put the new aFe Power on top of the stock, because basically that's what you're doing. You're putting the top air intake, the new air intake system on top of the stock housing, so it sits on top inside the engine, so you have your bottom protection. I didn't purchase the heat cover that goes on top, but if that's something you want to do, that they'll give you further instructions on how to do it. I never ordered it. Alright, so once you put your new air intake system on top of your stock air intake housing, then just run, which is pretty self-explanatory, run your new your new tube, okay, with your fasteners. Put your fasteners on first, then your tube, then your other fastener, and then your steel tube. And then put your other side onto the manifold. Okay. Now the problem I had with running the air sensor into the new tube was that they give you this little rubber housing because your air sensor does not fit into the tube. There's no clamp, so they give you this rubber little housing here with this system, so you can adapt it into the steel, not steel, but run into the new tube. What I had to do was run the rubber housing on the air sensor first, put it around the air sensor, and then fit it into the hole for the tube, and then use a screwdriver, and basically while you have it in, you work it around it gently, okay, and then fit it into the tube. Because if you put the rubber housing into the tube first and then you push your air sensor in, you're going to probably want to pushing the rubber housing into the tube, and it'll probably drop down into your manifold, which obviously is going to be a pain to get out, so you don't want to do that. So that's why you put the rubber housing onto the air sensor first and then push it onto the tube, and then just fit it gently around it. So just make sure you're careful with the air sensor so you don't snap the top and the tip of the air sensor, because then you'll be screwed if you do that. So just be gentle with this part. It's probably the most sensitive part with the whole process. And then your final step is to run your air crank tube to your air intake system. But the other issue that you're gonna have is that this isn't the stock tube from your stock air intake system. You obviously put that over your new air manifold tube, but it doesn't fit flush with the air intake. So what you have to do is get another clamp, which it does not come with the kit. You'll have to buy this clamp at the store, buy another clamp, and clamp that onto your tube. If not, it'll pop off while you're driving. All right. And that's basically how everything looks when you're done. All right, so I just installed my aFe Magna Force. Just driving around, as you know, just for 10-15 minutes after I installed it, I can see definitely a noticeable increase in power, just in taking off and whatnot. You can definitely hear the tone difference. You can hear it sucking the air in, which is pretty cool. Every other air intake system I had, basically I had the Volant air intake system before this. I didn't like the results I had in my Chevy, but then again, in my Chevy I only had a 4.8 liter engine. You know, adding this air intake with the Borla exhaust system is just great to me. So far I love it, definitely recommend it. It cost me about 328 bucks I bought it off of autoanything.com. I ordered the air intake one day ago, and I just got it today in the mail. So good place to order from. I'll put the link down in the information on the site, and hope you enjoy watching.